Junior, JD, my guys, it has been way too long. I have a lot to catch up on. We had some hot takes the last time we spoke, and some of us may or may not have changed our opinions over the course of that time. We'll find out. People will be put on blast, and, let's get into it, man. So how you guys feeling, though? How's the last couple of weeks been? I want to hear, Junior, what's going on in Salem?
We're just getting into this holiday spirit. We start early. Obviously, I'm repping it. We got Wemby in the background with the Santa hat on, so we're getting it in out here.
JD, man, what's going on,
bro? Likewise, man. We ready for this college football season to, come to a close, and this NFL season is about to really start because real games start after Thanksgiving, which is next week.
Yes, sir. And, let's go JV varsity. Let's talk college football, then we'll talk pro football. But like you said, it's that time of year. It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. Junior's dressed up like Where's Waldo? I mean, Santa. And we got the Heisman candidate hype building, right? Like they're chiseling down the finalists, the candidates. JD and then Junior, what are your guys' takes so far? And who's your pick at this point?
I mean, it's really tough to, go outside of this West Coast. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams. Like, let's be honest, those are the top three quarterbacks in the country, and they reside in the same conference. I'm going to be looking forward to who's first team all Pac-12, because if you're first team all Pac-12, that means you're going to probably win the Heisman. And I think it's going to come down to the game here in 3 weeks, December 1st in Las Vegas, when Oregon plays Washington, and I don't know if the ballots are due by then, but whoever wins that game, I think will have their Heisman moment and be lifting the trophy in New York.
It's tough to argue with that West Side connection you talk about.
Junior?
West Side!
It's tough to argue with it. And, I really like quarterbacks, right? I mean, it's going to be a quarterback, no doubt, right? It's just got to be. But did y'all see what Jaden Daniels did the other day for LSU? Look, I'm not saying he can edge out one of the Pac-12 quarterbacks, but dude is on a tear. I mean, his historic numbers right now. So if there's a chance, he's gonna have a chance. But I still say it's Penix. If Washington wins out, Penix is gonna get that. There's no reason why he shouldn't. A lot of people saying it's Bo Nix to lose at this point. I don't agree. Penix is right there. They win out. That Heisman's locked up. Gotta be.
What's everybody saying up there in Seattle about him, though, Chris? What are the pundits up there in Seattle saying? You're close to it.
We have this conversation a lot at work. It's fun to overhear. We have an open seating environment, which is fun at times, but trash at other times. And I just recently found out IT dude, a couple rows behind me, who does noise canceling headphones. So he talks really loud on calls and he doesn't know it, which is kind of fun. But he was talking about the Oregon. Somebody asked, I could tell someone asked him about the Oregon-Washington game. And he started talking trash. So I bumped into him yesterday. And I was like, we started talking shit basically. And, talking shop. And it's funny because the game against Oregon State and Washington, if you're an Oregon fan, who are you rooting for? And if you're rooting for
Washington,
if you're rooting for Washington, you know what you're talking about. And you should be on this podcast because you want the rematch. You want to bust their ass, right? On a neutral field. And if you're kind of a lame and you're just like, oh, I want Washington to lose because they beat Oregon. That's not it. So, and I'd rather root for Washington than Oregon State all day. So, anyway, I'm with you as it comes down to the final end of the season. But for my Heisman take, you guys are wavering. neither one of you chose anybody, and I'm picking Bo Nix. So shut up and pick somebody.
Okay, so I
said Penix. I said Penn. I committed, man. I want you to give me credit for run that tape back.
We'll run it back. We'll go slow-mo rewind. You know, that progressive commercial or whatever.
I'm the one who said whoever wins that game. So I didn't pick anybody. But the Heisman, you know, is always given to, they call the best player in football. But the best football player in the country, he plays for the Buckeyes. And his name is Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's keep it real. Let's just keep it real. Marvin Harrison Jr. is that dude. He deserves the Hemi Award. He's going to win the Blitnikoff. I think he should get a... I mean, imagine if he had C.J. Stroud this year throwing him the ball. Imagine what his numbers would be like. You know?
Yeah.
But I want to just say something, though, real quick about what you said about the Oregon State and Washington game, though, real quick. It's two parts, though. This is very... And you'll hear me out. If you want Oregon State to win, right? Because then what that makes the Civil War game is a college football playoff game. Because if Oregon State wins,
there's layers to this shit.
To the Pac-12.
Okay.
You know, and it makes that game actually have something. Not only, like, is it the last Civil War game for the next couple years, but it makes it mean something for both teams. Now, if Washington beats Oregon State, that game has more pressure for Oregon here in 2 weeks. Let's keep it real.
Hey,
yeah, I mean, y'all are Duck fans though, and I look, I respect it.
I'm a Beaver fan. I root for the state of Oregon.
Okay. Well, then you're with me. I'm rooting for both those teams. I want to see my guy DJ Oogie Alalale throw for it, man. I want to see him tear up Washington's defense. I want to see Oregon State show the country that, hey, they shouldn't have left us out here to dry, and it's no conference, man. Like, I want to see Oregon State rise up right now. But I agree from the perspective of we want that rematch for Oregon fans. I mean, you gotta go for Washington. I think you got it because I think you expect to beat Oregon State, even though Oregon State's a good team this year. I think most Oregon fans think they should beat Oregon State.
Yeah, but JD brings up a really good point, though. Patience. You know, if OSU wins, the Civil War becomes the biggest Civil War ever in what would be the last Civil War for of its kind. You know, and until they play out of conference fucking games in the same state.
Who knows when?
Yeah.
Who knows when, though?
Yeah,
right?
that's why I said a couple years. I'm sure it will come back around. You know, and they'll figure out how to get the Mountain West on their conference.
Can we just say, as a fan, you can't really lose here?
Yeah.
No.
All scenarios play out. Yeah. All scenarios work.
it all plays.
Hey.
I mean, either we got a rocking Pac-12 championship game or we got a rocking Civil War game. And I'll take it.
You know what else? You know what else? It's that time of year again for another Jim Harbaugh scandal. And it's been all over the news. It's all people are talking about, a national media. We will just touch on it brief because what's our take compared to somebody else's? I just think the dude's funny as hell. He's just going to cheat constantly. Like, fuck it. I'm just glad they didn't punish the players and it's just him, the guy, and he got a week suspension. But it's entertaining. Fuck it. Sports are entertaining, and that was entertaining to see.
Man, it's just so funny to me. People living in glass houses right now. It just like they aren't out here doing the same stuff, man. And just because people don't like Harbaugh, he rubs people the wrong way. They decide to put this on blast. I saw someone post on Twitter like, the SEC doesn't air their business out like this. Like the cheating in the SEC, you don't get aired out publicly like this. They keep that
because then they turn over the other rocks. They handle it. I mean, to a lesser extent, like SMU, like they were supposed to be the example, but still motherfuckers are getting away with it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just they felt like they had to hit a quota once a decade. Pop agree. Somebody.
I think it's just great to see somebody go rogue. Like that young man, Connor Stallion, was rogue. I'm sorry, I don't think Coach Harbaugh knew anything about it. This dude is buying tickets to 10 conference games, sending people to other games. Like, you're doing too much, bro. All right, you probably make 30 grand a year, you know what I'm saying, with incentives, maybe, if that. I don't know, but, like, you're doing too much. Like, to gain what edge? For 5 yards? I don't know.
That's facts.
I'm just, you know.
That's facts.
And, Chris, you're absolutely right. The SEC, hey, we don't tell on each other. What y'all, you know what I'm saying? We got Cam Newton out here, his daddy getting money. No, we don't tell.
It's kind of like the streets, bro. SEC is kind of like the streets. Like, you don't snitch.
Oh, it is.
Too gangster for the West Coast, man. Or the Midwest, or
Come
wherever.
on.
Yeah, I mean, because you're putting a bad light on your conference. Like, you're causing that negative light on your conference. You can say it's all about Michigan, but it's not really.
Yeah.
Right? It's really on everyone. And it's just not good. That media story is not good for anyone.
Last media story of college football we're going to hit on here. Jimbo Fisher got the bag to stop coaching. Holler at me, guys.
Hey, I want to know, Chris. I got one
Junior,
for you. First
you
one
brought
for you.
this up.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna hit it with Chris.
All right, hit me, because I haven't really talked on it yet. Hit me.
I need to know what you doing with that bag if you get paid not to work. 70 mil, Chris. What you doing with that bag, man?
I am buying like fucking Iron Man's pad that he had out in Malibu in the Marvel movies. Like, give me that, and whatever's left over is for food and party favors. Like, that's it. Because I'm not leaving that house.
And I'm not, and I know all these coaches, you know, they got egos, so they want to coach again. They want to keep working. You know, hey, you drop me 70 mil not to work, best believe I am never working. All right, we lamped out.
Hey,
you know, we packing it in.
People talk about like if they win the lottery, they still have a job because they want to keep busy or keep a routine. Get a routine that you set the rules for, that you're the boss for. Who wants to be rich and be bossed around? Here, man.
Hey, man, I feel it. My routine is going to be lamping, okay?
Hey.
Just chilling. That's
Chris,
the routine.
I like that. I like what you just said there. You set the rules in the routine.
And you can still have a routine and keep up your health and like stay active.
Hey, Junior, what'd you say? You said I'm sending the homies a check, and I told Junior, Chris, I said, hey, as long as the check got a comma in it, I don't care.
Yeah,
it
hey,
could be $5 grand, 10 grand, 100 grand.
Yeah,
hey, man,
70 mil is enough to.
Check.
70 mil is enough to break off some homies, man.
Hey,
look, that's enough.
Okay, hold on. This is like pro athlete 101 though, like where it's a slippery slope. The shit's gonna dry up at some point. I would say I'm not giving you guys any money, but you can come kick it at my Iron Man house with Robert Downey. Like, everything's cool there.
Okay.
It's like a free.
I take it back. Chris ain't getting no. Nah, Chris ain't getting no check.
No,
I
but
take
if
it
you
back,
asked,
man.
if someone came to me and asked, and were like, "Hey, can I get 10 racks?" Like, okay, but then I'll remember. So then when I need something, you know what I'm saying? Like those Blazer tickets used to be.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Hey, what you want on your watch? It's gonna be a bust down. You know what I'm saying? We going on a vacation. Bring whoever you want. You know what I'm saying? We gonna rent out the hotel, and we gonna do that a couple times, Chris. And guess what? If my money dries out, you can tell. But it ain't gonna dry out because I'm always gonna have that secret stash, and I'm always gonna have my friends with me. So you know what I'm saying? Come with us or not. Bring your team. I'm just saying. That's how I feel. I'm always gonna have the squad with me. KG still rolls with a squad. Allen Iverson, they still roll with their squad, bro.
Well, look at what's it? Okay.
Hey, bro, what are you good at, Chris?
Look at their earnings plus advertisements, though. Come on, Gitano. We're looking at half a billion.
I don't think AI is living his best life right now. KG is maybe something else, but I don't know about AI. But speaking of KG, though, he was 17? 18 when he came in the league, and if he still has his shit together, yes, he got paid, but he had to say no to a lot of people.
I'm just saying, we gonna make that money work for us. So, Chris, hey, you in charge of production? You know what I'm saying? We putting some type of company together, Junior.
Let's do it.
You
we'll
in charge of
my house.
Resources. You know, what did Rich Paul say?
He said human
figured out their
resources.
role.
He said cut the checks for people.
He put me in HR, bro. I don't know if I should feel good or bad about that, man.
I would be like, nah, man, I'd rather have the Iron Man house. Let me get a timeshare at the Iron Man
You're in
house.
charge of people. I'm just saying. My guy's in charge
it's
of
funny
people.
how you classified him, though.
You gotta make sure people.
Junior is an HR motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll be your director of communications. How about that?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm putting
That's
people
my job.
in positions that they good at. Okay?
Hey, speaking of positions people are good at.
Being real, man.
Hey, speaking of positions people are good at, the NFL. Who's good in that position looking at the MVP trophy this year? JD, I'm going to hit you first because June, I don't trust him. He's in HR.
Look, this is a slap. This is a tough one. But this guy right here, I hope people understand that he's that dude. And that's CJ Stroud. And it's him
MVP?
and AJ Brown.
Wait, no, we're talking MVP.
MVP,
Are you talking
not
rookie of the
rookie
year?
No, I said MVP. That's why I said it's this. Hear me out. He's second in the league in passing, 2 interceptions.
My computer's feeling warm.
Touchdown. Hold on. Hold up. Teams in the playoffs right now. What do you want from him?
I'm just messing with you, bro.
I'm not going to discount anything you said other than a rookie. I don't care how good they are. No one's going to vote for them to be MVP. Just not going to happen.
Okay, I didn't know my name was Peter Vesey and I work for the AP. You know what I'm saying? This is the Chano and JD Chris show.
Peter Vesey still got a job?
My take is.
Okay, all right.
They still like his opinion.
Right.
I'm sure they still love Peter Vesey. You know, a lot of people.
I'm here to tell
like
you
him.
that is a flaming hot take.
I love it.
I feel like you know that.
It wasn't flaming, but it was a burning hot take.
Not. It is. It's warm.
When we say MVP this year in the NFL, is there really one person just running away with that?
That's why you
tough.
can go with CJ Stroud. That's why you can go.
And that's
with him.
why I was looking at just kind of who's in the running right now, and looking at some stats before the show, and I walked away saying, okay, I guess Hurts, because right now they're technically the best record on a really good team. He's had a few more turnovers than we'd like to see, but historically they're probably going to give it to him. But I don't feel great about any of the top guys right now. And I think I would like to see Hurts get it. I like the guy's game. I think he's earned it. But to say he's head and shoulders above the next person, nah, that's false.
Yeah, Junior, I'm with you, man. It's like Hurts is the default, and when you said historically, that's true. Any sport default you look at, it's gonna see when is voting. Is it after the regular season?
Yeah,
so
it's announced during the playoffs.
Stroud's going to have to win out and get, 300 yards, 5 combined tuggies, and, no turnovers the rest of the year. Which is possible. Then I'm with you, JD. But we're on the record. It's being recorded, and so I can go back to this and say I told you so.
See, listen.
I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, that's great. But what I'm saying
but you went the other default though. I feel like
I did on purpose. I was going to say Hurts.
Default too.
I was going with Hurts until you said Hurts. Okay. We got to have different takes, dog. Otherwise, there's nothing to debate about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys are going.
No, you're right.
Who you know is going to get it.
Whatever, Gitano. Hey, at least we're realistic, okay, man?
JD,
you're in the clouds over there.
Bro, JD, I'm with you, though. I did that with the NBA takes, man. You got to have something to hope for. You need something bigger than yourself to believe in. But hey,
right,
JD, let's go back to this.
Let me do this real quick.
Hit me. Us.
This is something that I know Junior's going to agree with me, though. And I'm going to ask you first, Chris. Who's the
Raiderzzz
defensive MVP?
Myles Garrett.
Who's the defensive MVP, Chris?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what?
Right.
I thought that was a
Junior?
trick question. I was like, is there someone I'm forgetting?
The
Yeah,
correct answer, and there's only one. The only correct answer is Mr. Max Crosby.
Yeah.
He is on another level this year, and that's not even coming from a Raider bias.
Yes, it is. Fuck out of
Check the tape.
This is coming
everything
from
you,
facts.
everything you
This
say is a Raider bias. No. People, hey.
I checked it. I checked at the
who
door.
Who votes for this? Writers? Do writers vote for it?
Yeah.
That's a question. Okay. What do writers do? They tell stories. They write stories. The best storyline is Myles Garrett leading this fucking Browns team to, as of until Deshaun Watson got hurt, a Super Bowl hopeful team. And it's all him. So, fuck your Raiders.
Hey man, look, this isn't the NCAA tournament looking for stories, okay? Like this is the NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh.
It's about who's the most dominant defensive player that year, bro.
Okay.
They're not looking for stories to come out of the
I'm
defensive
not saying
player
they're
of the
looking
year.
for stories. I'm saying they're
candidates.
preconditioned to look for something to write about. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need a
Max
hook.
Crosby has 20 more tackles than Myles Garrett, bro. 20 more tackles.
But he plays for the
He
Raiders.
has the number one pressures.
Don't you have to be on a winning team? Hold on.
Snaps.
I'm going to pull the tape.
5-5,
He leads the league in tackles for loss. Tackles for loss, he leads the league. He's played more snaps than any other edge player
This
in
isn't
the
fair.
league. By
I'm not
a
even
wide
going
margin.
to... This conversation is like... It's like fake because it's two Raiders fans against me.
No,
like,
it's because you won't open your mind. Like as much bias as you're saying we
I'm
have,
picking a
you got the
Browns player.
opposite. Hey,
I'm picking a Browns player, dog.
but you can't even listen. You can't even listen to the facts right now that Jatana was spitting.
Well,
you can't
yeah.
even listen to it.
Well, of course, because that's how I go, bro. I'm loyal to the soil, and I pick my guy. You're not going to change my mind. We're just going to yell louder at each other.
Listen, Myles Garrett is that dude. He is first team All Pro, but Max Crosby is having such a effect on the game on every snap, and I think that when you watch a player play and he hustles the way Max hustles, like as they say about the white guys on
But ain't nobody
on draft
watching.
day, you know what I'm saying? He's got a high motor. He's got a high motor, Junior. When they talk about these white guys at the draft, he's got a high motor. They never say that about the black guys.
But what Max has is technique. You know, I think his high motor, his effort, he made a name for himself and got noticed. This guy is a technician. I mean, he is a legit martial artist, is how they describe his game and how he's able to use his hands to shed blocks. He's not the biggest guy, but he is hella hard to block. He's hella hard to block. And so, Chris, I'll give you a little. I'll zoom out from the Raiders a little bit. Okay.
Okay. Let's have a real conversation. Hello, I'm back. Let's talk.
I don't think it's ridiculous to say that Micah Parsons is also up there.
Yeah,
Myles Garrett,
he's the darling
Crosby.
of the league, bro.
TJ Watt.
Yeah, but I don't think he's having the year that Crosby and Garrett are having, and Parsons. But I think those three are. I think they're clearly in the lead for it. I really think Crosby has to take it this year. And I know you say no one's watching the Raiders, but
no, that was a lie though, because
Max, it's hard not to root for the guys.
Well, the Raiders are always on national TV, bro, because it's Las Vegas. Also, did a baseball team just move there today, or was I dreaming that?
Yeah, the A's are coming. All right, real
The
quick.
A's. That's
Start
right.
bench cut, Chris. Start bench cut, Chris.
Hit me.
Cut. All right. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Nick Bosa.
Oh.
Hey, that's brutal. That's brutal, Gitano. That's really not fair.
That's not. And you're after
who you
me.
starting? That's what I want to know.
Hold on. I got a question, though. I got a question. Are we talking this player's prime or this player today?
I like to say
that all these guys are in their prime. I can't see them.
They're all
No,
in their
no, no,
prime.
no, no, no. I'm
Yeah,
saying
some of
like
them.
right now.
Nick Bosa was Defensive Player of the Year last year. So are we looking at last year's Bosa versus this year's Myles Garrett? That's actually the question I was asking.
That player is still there. He's just not putting the numbers up.
Okay, so we're picking
Still
today.
Nick Bosa.
So I'm starting Myles Garrett. I'm benching Nick Bosa, and I'm cutting Nick Bosa, and I'm taking TJ Watt off the bench because he's a Watt.
Yeah.
Is that your take too?
All right, Junior, for
Hey.
you.
I just got a
I'm starting TJ Watt. TJ Watt just he scores touchdowns, bro.
Yeah.
There's something about guys who score touchdowns.
Him and his brother,
that
bro.
I kind of like.
Too talented.
Hey, I saw a stat get pulled up about JJ Watt, his first like 3 or 4 years in the league. The amount of like pressures and tackles for losses that dude had in his first 4 years was absolutely.
And just catching touchdowns for fun too.
Floored. I was floored. I remember he was good. I forget he was that good. Like those first like 4 or 5 years, like before he started getting hurt. But like those stats were.
He was the real
bonkers.
dominating.
Okay,
All
you
right,
got
so
a different one for me
moving
though.
on. I got another one for you, Junior. Max Crosby, Fred Warner, Nick Parsons.
Micah Parsons. Okay.
Hey,
Man.
Micah Parsons.
Can I just say Fred Warner is just so fun to watch too, though, the way he plays the game and just.
That's why I threw him in there, because him and Max are the same type of player, but at different levels.
hey, my guys. Real quick, little Tony Reale one, or not? Who's the dude that fact checks him? That has his own show?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
reality.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Myles Garrett and Max Crosby and our Defensive Player of the Year, and you guys brought up stats. And so since you guys brought up stats, I'm going to tell you right now that TJ Watt has more turnovers and more sacks than Max Crosby in fewer games. So I'm not even.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna pull my king back, Myles Garrett, and I'm gonna let my pawn, TJ Watt, debate over who's best for second place.
I just want to clarify that neither Gitano or myself said that Max Crosby was leading in sacks.
Oh, I'm not. No, you didn't say that.
Or
I'm not
turnovers.
saying you were wrong. So it's not really a reality. It's more of a fact check, I guess. More of a further evidence to present to the court.
I think QB pressures are a better stat than sacks, and
Max Crosby
does
is
that
number
better
one
than-
at that.
But he's a lineman and doesn't.
But hold
Watt
up,
plays outside linebacker.
Okay,
they all play the same position.
and also,
Russ, the
and
quarterback,
also
is Bill Coward's.
Every play though.
Crosby leads the league in tackles for loss. He plays the run like no one else does. So it's
What about
hey,
team defense?
they're all good. I said they're all good, man. If you want to say that, Garrett's got a better defense around him, so Crosby's doing more on his own. I mean, you can look at that too.
Anyway, next topic: Rookie of the Year.
Hold up, Chris.
Hold on, I didn't even get a chance to
Hold up. Exactly, but real quick, Chris want to bring up stats. But hold up, Chris. He has 20 more tackles than these guys.
Yeah, but he's played more. He's played a game more. He's played a game more. So theoretically, they could catch up in one game. Holler at me.
Oh God.
Just like theoretically, CJ Stroud could win MVP.
Anyway,
Yes, he can.
I'm starting Max. I'm benching Fred, and I gotta cut Micah just because I love watching Fred and Max play. Micah's a special talent. I'm not taking that away. I just think the way that Fred and Crosby play the game is just a little bit different. That intensity level they have, but also being so good from a skill position. They're so talented from a skill position. The way Fred Warner covers in a zone and man to man. I mean, watching him run up the seam with receivers is wild. It's wild.
Okay, so who do we got as Rookie of the Year?
I mean, that's a pretty clear cut.
Well, you got to go offensive.
Yeah, offense is CJ Stroud.
Offensive.
That's why
It's your boy, JD. Come on, it's your boy. You already know who it is,
and then
man.
Jalen Carter for
That's
defense,
not-
right?
We don't even need to talk about it. We don't even need to talk. And Carter, yes, Philly. They drafted Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have you guys seen Carter play? Have you actually got eyes on him?
Casually, not intentionally.
Man, I watched a couple Eagles games earlier in the season, and he's not able to do it every play. He's still young and developing, but those plays where he catches it, oh man, he looks like the next Warren Sapp, bro. I mean,
him and Jordan Davis, those two teammates, those guys are, Philly, they really got lucky.
Okay,
I want to move on to this though, because hold up, I gotta get on Chris about his top 5. So the last time we met, Chris said his Seahawks were in the top 5. How we feeling about those Seahawks right now?
Bro, let's pull up your takes too, man.
Seattle?
I was gonna take the Lions.
Hey, my teams are still.
I was gonna take the Lions, but then I penciled in the Seahawks because they beat the Lions. And I wasn't trying to, you went first. If I went first, it's like the Price is Right. You got to add one more dollar over the top, So I took a risk.
So who's your top 5, Chris?
I thought we were doing defensive teams. I thought we were doing top 5 defensive teams.
Power ranking.
Wow. Nah, we doing power ranking.
Go to Junior first. Let me flush out. Let me flush out my list. Let me flush out my list.
Okay. As a Raiders fan, Gitano knows how difficult this is for me. Got to put Kansas City at number 1. I don't care that the Eagles have only one loss. I don't care that the Chiefs lost to the Broncos, because I tell you what, the Broncos is quietly figuring it out. Russ is out there cooking a little bit. Russ is out there cooking a little bit. He's statistically a top 10 quarterback this year.
Yeah, but who have they beat?
So I'm
Kansas City, Buffalo.
You get one fluke game. Buffalo's getting beat up by everybody.
Hey,
sorry.
I'm just saying. I got Chiefs
I'm in debate mode. Go ahead with your 5, my guy.
I think Chiefs 1. I do have Eagles 2. I got Dolphins 3, even though their defense is a little suspect to get them there, and they just can't seem to beat the upper echelon teams. And then I'm going to go for the team where their quarterback took a lot of heat earlier in this year. A lot of heat. And that's the Cowboys.
Oh,
I think Dak.
If he got heat earlier, he's getting the ice right now because people are on his nuts.
Well, I'm saying, over the last 5 weeks, they're saying no one's playing the quarterback position better than Dak. It's like, all right, I'm gonna believe in you one more time. I'm gonna believe in you one more damn time, Dak, my light skinned brother. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more chance. And then I'm off. But and then I got the Ravens. I had the Bengals, but after what happened with Joey B tonight.
You want me to go or you got it, Chris?
Yeah, you go, JD. I want to have the final word.
All right. Well, I agree with Junior on the first 2 with Kansas City number 1. It is what it is. I think that the game with Denver is an inter-conference game. That's the first road loss for Patrick Mahomes in conference, the AFC West. I mean, come on, you won 18 straight. You never lost on the road. So he was due for a loss eventually on the road. And, the Broncos defense, they were optimistic, and Patrick Mahomes didn't want to play that much that game because he gave him the ball every time. The Eagles, they're pretty good. Last time I checked, you can only beat the teams who are on your schedule, and we'll find out Monday because Monday is the showdown. This is the game that we want to see. It's KC, Philly. It's not a rematch because it's not in the Super Bowl. So a rematch will be in the Super Bowl. It's a brother rematch, but I'm looking forward to it on Monday night. This is, this could be like the Rams and Kansas City and LA when Goff and Mahomes went at it. I think it could be another shootout. My number 3 team, I don't agree with Junior on the Dolphins because they haven't really beat anybody, and that's got to be the 49ers. They went on a little skid. When you lose the best left tackle and one of the best receivers, you might lose a couple games. You get everybody back, what? We go down to Jacksonville and we put a smack into a team that was on a 4-game winning streak.
Hey, man, look, the 49ers are, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it right now. 49ers, smoke and mirrors. I don't think they have what it takes to go deep in the playoffs.
I agree. I think Philly's the head and shoulders, the cream of the crop. But number 4 is Baltimore. I know they lost last week to Cleveland, but then today they came out and they just mopped Cincinnati. Number 5, Ravens mopped them really bad, and that's Detroit. And Detroit, like you can put Detroit there, you can put Dallas there, you can put Miami there. I think all those teams have been beaten by the teams that we just numbered 1 through 4. So it really doesn't matter. It's just your flavor, what you want today. And I believe I believe in Jared Goff because he's been there before compared to the other guys. He has taken the team to the Super Bowl. And that's something to be said when it comes to those playoff games. And we'll see come January how Detroit and Dan Campbell play.
I agree, Gitano, but also, taking into account those losses early in the season, it's about who's getting hot at the playoff time, who's healthiest at the playoff time.
And
so even though we're giving
Detroit
these midseason,
getting their stride.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that. I think if you're looking at a team trending up, yeah, they got the break speed off of them. But even the way they handled the Raiders on that prime time, I mean, the Raiders only scored 7 points on offense. Now you can say that's why they fired their coach, but I mean they locked them up and they just played with heart. That coach, man, that coach is wild, and I it's one of those ones where it's like I've never really played for one of those like coaches that was just intense and just like a former player and was just riding with everybody. That just looks fun. It looks fun.
Hey, Junior, do you know that his staff is predominantly African Americans as well?
I do know that because when I look on the sidelines, all I see is him surrounded by brothers, bro. That's all I
saw. Hey.
All the position coaches are black men.
That's what I saw. My eyes noticed that.
You didn't have to Google that. Chris? Hey, okay, so there was a take early on a previous episode that our dedicated loyal listeners probably remember of a local Northwest team making it to the promised land of the top 5. Making the playoffs at this point would be a good sign. So the Seahawks have fallen out of my power rankings. You guys are the first to hear it. So break that news on Twitter. I'm going to go reverse order.
On X.
Okay.
Yep, bet. Hey, I'm going to go number 5. We got the Niners. Gitano, you talk about injuries. I think they just got bored. It was like all this Brock Purdy talk of never losing a regular season game and all this, and then it was like once you lose one, there's a little fall off. But that Jacksonville game was, Jacksonville was a fluke. They did have a little hot streak going, but it's Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence isn't the guy. I'm calling it right now. He gonna be a quarterback. He'll be in the league for a long time. Sorry. He's not the guy.
Man's Herbert.
He's not Joe. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not.
He's a poor man's Herbert, and I'm only saying that because they're both white with long hair. But then I got number 4. You may know this team, formerly periodically quarterbacked by Deshaun Watson, but I'm gonna put my Cleveland Browns in there. I've adopted them. My boss's favorite team is the Cleveland Browns. He's a diehard Browns fan, and because of my brown nosing, no pun intended, I've become a pseudo Browns fan.
Hey, DTR, UCLA, baby. I'm rooting for my guy. Okay,
and it's you guys were earlier. We were talking about the summary of what your two the discussion of your 2 top 5 teams. What I interpreted that as there's so much parity in the NFL right now, whereas in years past it was like Brady's going to be there, Peyton Manning's going to be there, Drew Brees going to be there. This is fun. This is fun to not know who's going to be there, and talking about teams.
Oh, we know who's going to be there. That's Patrick Mahomes.
Come on, that's the one. Come on. He's the one.
We know who's. Come on,
He's
man.
him. He's him.
We know that.
He's him.
Yeah, but he's not having his usual Patrick Mahomes like wild year.
Because
either.
think
He's,
about
it's
it though,
a down
dog.
year
He
for
wants
him.
to. He's just ready for the playoffs. He in fucking August he wanted the playoffs. He didn't want to play the preseason, regular season. Like, just get me there. And I think a lot of their team probably feels that way. People that have been there a few years. But it reminds me a little bit of baseball. You know how a team gets hot and they can run the table in the playoffs. I would love to see something like that where, as C.J. Stroud led Texans team sneaks in as a wild card and he makes the AFC chip or maybe the Super Bowl. It'd be cool to see that in the NFL where you see it in the NBA, you see it in MLB, you see it in college sports all the time. But just a Cinderella story or like a anybody can win it. So I like having the Browns in it.
Hold on, bro. What about my Raiders then? They got a chance to go on a run here with that new coach and be that story,
Hey,
Chris.
if the Raiders, you are who you hang out with. And I talk Browns with my boss. I talk Raiders, or I listen Raiders with you guys. So if they start to catch some steam these last couple of weeks, I might be wearing some black and silver on the show, and we might delete this episode. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. All right.
But quickly though, the rest of my team, it's the same. It's the same. Mix them up however you want. But I got Detroit at 3. Jared Goff is key. Yes, the Seahawks beat them, and I'll call it a fluke game. I think the reverse fluke for us. But and then I got Philly at 2 and Kansas City at 1 with my MVP Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, all right. Since you brought it up,
we all
Goff.
can
Okay,
agree.
real quick. Hold on, real quick. I want to know.
Agree.
Hold on, what's he saying about Goff? What you gonna say about Goff?
We can all agree that it's.
I want to know. Would you take right now to start your franchise Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence if you had to choose?
Jared Goff. 15 times out of 14.
Goff?
Yeah.
But it's that easy?
Yeah.
It's that easy?
I never liked Sunshine, man. I never liked that dude. And yeah, dude's been in the
I don't
chip.
think Goff looks whatever, but the numbers are there.
I think I land on Goff.
Fisher, and he got Sean McVay as his coach. Let's be honest. As soon as Jeff Fisher got out of there, what were Goff's numbers? Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm. They were good. They were good. I'm just saying. I didn't know it was going to be that easy. I feel like they're kind of comparable in skill set.
Okay. Let me raise you this: Goff or Herbert?
I can't. Out of Raider Nation respect, I can't choose her. I cannot stand that dude. I just really can't.
That's just bias. Jatana, what about you? You biased too? You take Goff or Herbert, Jatana?
Always.
You're not taking. And look, if I'm talking about the games I've seen Herbert play, I haven't ever really seen him light the Raiders up like that. I mean, he's had good games. Oh, you're choosing Herbert?
Yeah, you got to, man. And he's from Eugene, right? He's like Sheldon, or where did he go to high school?
Junior, I was at the game. I'm choosing Herbert. Yes, but listen.
Okay.
Yes, Sheldon. Okay. But Junior, I was at the Raiders game against the Chargers, and Max Crosby lit his ass up. But it's Herbert all day.
Hey, should we hit the hot seats?
Real quick, though. I got to ask you guys, all right? So there's some speculation going around in the NFL that, there's some speculation going around that Coach Belichick is on his way out. Do you think he deserves another season of some bullshit? Does he deserve it? Or it's like, all right, let's close the chapter on Tom Brady and let's close the chapter on Bill Belichick because Mac Jones is not him.
Let me hit this one first. I've never met Bill Belichick. I've never hung out with him. I've never really picked his brain or read a personality test of his. But from my armchair, I think the dude would prefer to be fired. Go out like a G. That's all I'm saying.
I like that. Okay.
I feel like Bill don't give a fuck at this point. I mean, I think he wants to win. I know he has a drive to win, but at that point in your career, I mean, how old is he? Late 60s? at that point in your career, you've won 5 ships. I don't know how you can possibly care that much about, just not having it end well. I just, dude got paid. Apparently, there are rumors that he just signed a contract this offseason, too. So if they fire him, they're about to owe him for another, 5 years, too. It's like, I don't think he'll have a problem with that. I'm with you, Chris. I think he's just like, fuck it. I mean, let's ride it out. I mean, good run. Hey, good while it lasted, and let's move on.
Randomly, though, when you said they may owe him, I don't know why this popped into my head, but I just want to know. I don't know the answer. Whatever happened with Aaron Hernandez? Did his wife or his baby mama get paid out? Did they have to pay him? Random Patriots
contract. I'm pretty sure.
Random Patriots.
I'm pretty sure that's voided, bro.
Oh, there was something though.
When you murder someone, I think your contract.
No, but there was some life insurance thing or something. Anyway, I looked that up in my own time, but I didn't know if you guys had a quick answer for me. But
I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Kraft chipped off the widow. I mean, he's been known to be a charitable guy. Mm-hmm. I think. So I wouldn't be surprised.
So, JD, what do you think?
The small speculation is that he might go to Dallas. Now, I'm going to ask you, where do you think the legend's fired, right? Okay. I think he's going to have all types of offers, but looking at the NFL and the spectrum, what teams are not firing their coach?
The Steelers.
Belichick.
The Steelers.
I don't think I'm gonna go the other way, JD. I don't think he's gonna be that much of a commodity like that.
I think he's gonna put the stink out there that he doesn't want to. He's good.
And I think people are coming to the realization that we never gave Tom Brady enough credit.
He did it in Tampa Bay, bruh.
And Bill Belichick had some good defenses, but it's not like his defenses are the number 1 in the league every year. They've been middle of the road, up and down. He's not consistently great on defense. I think he consistently puts up pretty good game plans together, but I don't feel like he's going to be that coveted coach getting fired from the Patriots.
You kind of make me want to do a deep dive now to see how he was with Bledsoe and shit before. And didn't he coach the Jets or something? You're right.
The Browns got fired.
Yeah. Has he done much without Tom Brady and without that 1 year when he had Matt Castle? And it's just the aura of the Patriots, like the Spurs were when they were.
He went to the playoffs when he was in Cleveland.
But he got fired though.
Okay, I'm just saying he went to the playoffs. And
that
staff is loaded in Cleveland.
And this coaching tree, though, people always talk about coaching tree.
Yeah.
Not a single one of his coaches has succeeded outside.
The coaching tree starts and ends with Nick Saban. If your coaching tree has the greatest college football coach of all time, it doesn't matter who's below that.
Hey, Junior, are we talking college or NFL?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're talking NFL here.
Saban coached in the NFL, so you're talking about when you went from coaching trees to Saban, and we're talking NFL. It's
I'm just saying that Nick Saban is underneath the tree of Bill Belichick because he left underneath Bill Belichick in Cleveland.
Oh, he took Belichick with him. I got you.
Bill Belichick is Nick Saban's disciple, bro. I mean, come on, man. How do we know that Saban didn't put Belichick up on that game when he was there?
There is something called managing up. He could have been like, "Oh, this Saban kid knows what he's doing. Let me steal some of his magic and take that shit to the."
I'm not even willing to say that he's the Saban's the disciple, man. I'm sorry. I mean, Gitano, you're giving Bill Belichick a lot of credit here.
Well, here's what I do know. Here's what I do know about Bill Belichick. He's been around for a long time, right? And they don't put those things on your finger for no reason, all right? It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, but
regardless of your quarterback or not, right? It takes a lot. Hold up, let me finish.
How many Super Bowls did he win without Tom Brady?
And when you hear
Phil Jackson won one without Mike, won a bunch without Mike.
You have a truck.
I mean, he had the.
And it's not just that he didn't win. It's not just that he didn't win these Super Bowls without Tom Brady. It's that he acts like he's the one that won them. And I think what separates Belichick from coaches like Pop, Pop will tell anyone who listens that he doesn't have any titles or any of his records if Tim Duncan never shows up there, and he fucking knows that.
And it's probably and he probably doesn't take as much credit as he should, whereas Belichick's on the other side. It's like having a good boss or a bad boss, like taking credit for your work or giving you praise. Like fuck Belichick.
You're never going to hear Belichick talk about how he wouldn't have been successful without. You will never hear him say that.
Hey, you got me, man.
I think that we're all right. We're all right. We're all right there. Right there. So a coach got fired because of a 12th man on the field. Now, the Buffalo Bills.
That was not why. That's saying you lost the game because of a foul. That's not why. It was just the last nail in the coffin.
I'm saying that if that guy is not on the field, Junior, do the Buffalo Bills fire Ken Dorsey?
No.
Yeah, he was getting fired either way. I mean,
even if they won,
it was trending.
You don't get fired after a win.
It was trending.
Yeah, you do. Ask Jimbo.
It was trending that way anyway.
NFL, bruh.
It was trending.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this reminded me real quick of. All right. So 2012, Baltimore Ravens fire Cam Cameron, their offensive coordinator. They bring in Caldwell, and they go on a Super Bowl run. So does this right here show, like, does this revive Josh Allen and make him something? They've been kind of stagnant since Dave Ball, their coach, went to New York. But when you watch New York, you're like, you guys are trash too. So I don't know. Is it Josh Allen or is it Brian Daboll? Because McDermott, the defense is, football injuries are a part of the game, and it's always been what? Next man up. So next man up, and White and Milano, those guys are great players, but
you might be onto something there where it's similar to a coach getting a technical foul on purpose in basketball to fire up his team, where a GM fires a coach to fire up his quarterback. So you might be onto something there, my guy.
And I think you saw it even last season with Dorsey. They had ups and downs in their offense last year. I mean, they went through a couple rough stretches even last season where people were questioning, like, are they even going to, be a Super Bowl contender? And so I think Dorsey was really just kind of, it had to happen because they had too many weeks where they struggled in a row scoring points with Josh Allen and Diggs and that offense. So I just think it was a long time coming, and that gave him an excuse to do it. But Chris, to your point, does he get fired that week if they win? No. That's hard to say.
You know the answer is no.
I'm with you.
He keeps his job until they lose, and theoretically, Gitano's right by saying, like, if the dude didn't run on then he would still have a job. But hey, let's switch gears and.
Hey, we already talked about the Buffalo Bills. McDermott is on the hot seat. The playbook for a coach on the hot seat is firing a coordinator, as my guy JD alluded to, and that already happened there. They have a chance of not even making the playoffs at this point in what is a parity-filled NFL right now. It's like every single team in the NFL is 5-4 or 4-5. I looked at the standings today, and it was wild. And so I think it's got to start with McDermott. But I do want to throw a little bit of a wrinkle in here and see what y'all think, because I think by default this person has to be on the hot seat because of the situation. And that's Raiders coach Antonio Pierce, who's the interim coach. I mean, by the sheer nature of being an interim coach, you're on the hot seat.
You're not even on a seat, bro.
Right?
You're at the kiddie table.
Right. It's so hot, you don't even have a seat, right?
You're standing room only. You're trying to get a seat.
So, I mean, I would love to see him do a good job because that means the Raiders are winning and him get a chance. I don't really care about historical statistics when it comes to interim coaches and how well they've succeeded. Every coach is a situation of one. What's going on with the team, what's going on with the franchise. So I don't really care about those previous situations. But he's no doubt, I think, the number one coach on the hot because he's coaching to keep his job. And in all likelihood, I mean, if you look at past history, interim coaches usually don't get hired. So I think that's the hottest seat. But I understand that that's a little bit outside the box of a hot seat. But that's my take.
I think you're right. The problem is,
bro, was this just another way to talk about the Raiders?
We know what happened. No.
Wake me up when we're going to talk NBA.
This is what happens when you get some real ones on the show. This is what happens when you get some real ones on the show. Raiders. Anyway,
hey, it's a national story, Chris. You can't say it's not, right?
It's
a national story.
You're not wrong, but this is about the 15th minute we spent on the Raiders. Where's Jordan Robinson at?
So. All right, well, we can have him on too, but I think the number one coach on the hot seat is Brandon Staley of the Chargers. I bet you Sean Payton is like, how the hell he don't get fired last year, so I should be there right now. You got me in mile-high, cold-ass Denver, Colorado, where I should be in sunny California coaching the blonde bomber himself and Justin Herbert.
You said the blonde bomber.
I know injuries are part of the game. Next man up. But, like, come on, bro. Like, you got Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Darwin James. Like, you have some of the top players at each position, and y'all.
And you're a defensive coach, and you can't.
27-point lead in the playoffs, and y'all lost. That's why, so it's Brandon Staley all day, and he's going to be part of that list on Black Monday, period.
As a Raider fan, I hope you're wrong. Keep Staley in the conference as long as possible. It is great for us Raider fans, Gitano.
Hey, last thing we'll talk
Chris,
about with the NFL.
Give me your take, Chris.
I agree with you guys. I'm done talking about the Raiders. But hey, last NFL topic I want to ask you guys on, or just bring up, because I just learned this about 3 minutes before we hopped on this call. They're doing a Black Friday game. And I was like, wait, what? They're just trying to... And then I was like, wait, no one's working. Why haven't they been doing this? That's genius. What you guys think?
Yep. I think they looked at NBA taking over Christmas and were like, oh...
We'll take two of them.
Let's try and get in on this other holiday. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, watch the NBA have Christmas Eve games next year. Adam Silver is copy-paste, man.
Yeah, and the NFL's lucked out the last couple of years. Christmas and Christmas Eve has kind of landed on, that Saturday or Sunday or whatever.
And so viewership's down,
the NFL's been lucky. Yeah.
JD, what do you think?
NFL is king. NFL is king, bro. You put it
on
Black Friday.
About Black Friday,
They're taking up every day. I'm just saying, Chris, NFL take. Hey, if the NFL said, you know what, we're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, fuck your Friday. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have wings on Wednesday. And the NFL is king, bro. They can play.
Hey, you're not wrong.
This is the whole thing about the NFL. It's like they don't play on Fridays. Why? Because they kind of made the rule. We can't play on Fridays because that's high school.
That's high school.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't play on Saturdays.
We can't play on Saturdays
unless it's a wild card and it's snowing.
But shit, we can play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and guess what? We're gonna dominate every day of the week. So,
bro, they've never had a game on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I agree with everything you said except for that.
On COVID.
I don't think they're going that far.
They had games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Remember?
Those don't count, bro.
Canceled. Yes, they did. Trust me.
They didn't count.
What you mean? It's during the regular season.
COVID wasn't real, man. It doesn't count. Hey.
What I'll say is, Chris, it's going to depend on the matchup. If we got two bunk teams, I personally won't care. Maybe there's probably diehards that are excited to watch it on Black Friday. But there's usually enough college.
It's college basketball tournaments. It's the PK80 shit. Yep, it's your first look at the new teams, the Maui and the PK.
I know,
and the Atlantis.
I know college basketball. That's a new one now. But I know people aren't trying to talk college basketball until March. I get it, so we'll save the talk. But
you gotta save
it. That's my. That's my time, man. The Thanksgiving tournaments, holiday tournaments for basketball. I love that.
That's a good point,
That's awesome.
Junior. That's a good point because as you walk through it, I remember
an hour, and we've been talking about is football for an hour. We got 2 games so far in the in-season tournament. I got a question for you guys because I brought this up in the previous episode. Buy or sell on the in-season tournament, Chris? Buy or sell in-season tournament? What are your thoughts so far? Couple games in.
I don't remember what I said at the time when we first talked about it, but knowing me, I was probably skeptical and threw a little salt, but also kind of covered my ass in case it worked out. So I'm going to go with, the latter, which was it worked out. So far, it's pretty dope, dude. Like, again, I am in the honeymoon phase with my NBA League Pass right now. And, I come home and I throw on the quad box of whoever's playing. So I'm watching all of these games. But it's like something special. And at first I thought the courts were corny. I was like, oh, you guys all got the same court? Like, where's the design creativity there? But now it's like an indicator of like this is an in-season tournament game. Because the Blazers and the Jazz game the other night was an in-season, like a Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I wish there was another way other than the court being a different color, and they even wear like the flannel jerseys they were wearing on non-tournament games. So like the only indicator that I know of is the court, and when they mention it on the broadcast. So I think they need to do a little bit better job branding it. But the idea, I love it, and I have a proposal for you guys after I hear both your guys' takes on it.
So I'm not gonna come on here and dog on the courts like everyone on Twitter was doing, a week ago or so. They're all right. I think it's difficult for my eyes to track the players on some of the real colorful courts, and so maybe as someone we're all aging, maybe eyes getting a little more tired. I could use a little less color. But the Spurs court was actually pretty tame. I'll say the colors weren't as vibrant, and it was. I think it flowed a little bit better. I really like their City Edition jerseys with the brown as well. Don't worry, I'm not going to go on a Spurs tangent right now, Chris. Okay,
you're good.
But what I'm going to say is, I think NBA players and professional athletes are just competitive. Like, the reason why they're in those positions is because they want to freaking win. And I think if you're just telling them, hey, there's something to win and there's money attached to it, I think the energy I think you could feel that. The energy was there, and all of
it gives you something to play for in the regular season. It's like the Mahomes thing of like, oh, let's just get through the regular season. This is like, oh, no, man, get ready. Let's go. Random Tuesday night in Utah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, early on, I think the returns are good, and I'm excited to see how it develops. We haven't even got to the Vegas. Those Vegas games are going to be lit. I'm calling it right now. Those Vegas games are going to be lit. They are going to be exciting. There are going to be celebrities there. It's going to be a good thing
Imagine
for the
if they
NBA.
played it in the NFL stadium.
What?
In Allegiant?
When is it?
They played it in the real stadium.
When is the?
It's the holiday.
December.
Okay, so it's before the Super Bowl.
My take
Vegas?
is I'm gonna sell.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
And here's why I'm gonna sell, Chris, is because I think they should have went. I think they should have went real tournament style. All 32 teams, one win, one game, and let's do it like an NCAA tournament, because that's what it is. After you do pool play, but why do we need to do pool play? Randomize these teams and play these games. Like, this is a real champion. This is like 1v1 on the court, king of the court, 5-on-5, where you might see the Detroit Pistons make it. You get a real champion like NCAA. And
weren't you the one talking about? Weren't you the one talking about the soccer model?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, bro, you're flip-flopping.
Yeah, I said I'm selling it. I'm selling it.
You're selling.
I feel like you were hyping up the soccer. Yeah, I feel like you were hyping hyping up the soccer model, and now you just flip flopped and said you don't like the
When
soccer
there's
model.
proof that it's actually working.
Not to say, okay. Well, okay, all right. It's two parts. The question is buy or sell. All right, I sold my stock because it was high. That's why I sold my stock. All right,
Man, you did it tricky on us, bro.
Oh well, guess what?
Man,
You know,
JD playing us over here.
Insider trading here. All right, I'm market steward of the game. You know what I mean? So
Hey,
the game is be told not to be sold. But
go ahead.
That's all I'm gonna say. I like if we were to really change it up and do something different. It's just thinking NCAA one game and find out who's the best team on one game because the NFL model.
But you're not wrong. But they already have that, and that's called the NFL play or the NBA playoffs, and it's a best of 7 format. It's a little different, but this right here is to drive. I agree with me here because this is to drive interest during a long 82-game season versus 16, 17, whatever they changed it to game season for the NFL. So they have lulls where guys are just like, fucking A, like on autopilot until the fourth quarter of regular season games. So this is a chance to get them. You're right. They're all athletes. They're all competitive, and that's why they're here. They also all grew up playing AAU, where it's pool play and then tournament play, and it's the same model here. So it's very familiar to these guys, and that's why I like it for the format as well. But I gotta.
And also the goal. Hold on, I am on the edge of my seat for this proposal, Chris. Okay, but just give me one second here. I really think that the way they modeled it is to minimize the amount of extra games played for this tournament. To Chris's point, they're already playing 82 games. Can't add another 10 games for an end season tournament. That's not it. I like that they're using regular season games as the first, essentially the group stage of the tournament.
And you got to play 3 extra games. That's all it is. 3 extra games, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, so here's what it is. Right now, yeah, you get $500,000 each. And what do the teams get? Do the teams get anything? Or is it just the players?
I didn't confirm. I only saw the players, but
okay.
I like the trophy, Chris. Where's this one going on trophy grid?
Hey, we gotta do it again now that we got Junior. Now we got to do another trophy. We'll do that an annual thing. Hey, but here's the question. Now we're just making shit up on the fly, right? We're Adam Silver, and we're just we're just chilling on a Friday night, a couple of glasses of wine, shooting the shit, and trying to think of cool things to add to the league. Comes up at the end season tournament, right? That's exactly how it went down. Now, you're Adam Silver's buddy, and you're splitting that bottle of wine with him, and he asks you, what else should I throw in there? I heard a take on, I think it was like Indiana League Pass or some broadcaster that wasn't that good, had a bad take, but had an interesting, it got me thinking, right? He said the winning team of the tournament should get a lottery pick, and they should have extra balls put in the lottery machine. So it's an incentive for the team to want to play better and not just the individual. What are your thoughts on that? And I'm stealing that as my own addition. If you guys had to make an addition, what would that be?
That's bold. I would say that is a bold strategy.
So it's $500,000 for each player.
I think that's how the Lakers get James Worthy and the Celtics get Larry Bird. And
for real.
The Golden State Warriors dropped the ball on James Wiseman, and it should have taken LaMelo Ball. Yeah, I agree. Let the good teams get the good players because Lord knows Zion wants his way out of New Orleans.
That's not New Orleans' fault. That's Instagram's fault.
I'm
just playing. I cut you off,
in the first place. Let's just be honest. You know, I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? Like Giannis, all right. Hopefully he likes it in Milwaukee. You know, because this spotlight is getting real bright. You know what I'm saying? So I like it, Chris. I think that is a great idea. I think that we should incentivize winning because that's the worst thing. What you're the worst. You're the best player in college football. You go to the worst team, and what happens? You play the least amount of years in the NFL because you're already out.
You get Joey Harrington. You get Joey Harrington. Like, you need to get drafted underneath an Aaron Rodgers, you know, or you get drafted under a Brett Favre. You know, that's how you groom somebody.
But how many good basketball players, right? And the NBA is really tough to grade. You know, you got high school kids coming out now, and kids are, you know, Junior and I were talking about this. Hopefully, kids now are able to get some compensation with the NIL, couple mil, you know, like Caleb Williams and Drake May, they make more money in college than they would on the first year of their rookie salary. You know what I'm saying? So why not secure some money right now? And yeah, you don't get to your bigger contract later, but at the same time, you might not get to that bigger contract because you are really bad, like Sam Darnold, Matt Barkley, these quarterbacks that they talk about, oh, they're so good. Johnny Manziel's out of the NFL. There's going to be a lot of these guys out of the NFL in a couple years.
Who is more mad about the NIL happening when it did than Johnny Manziel? I'm waiting. Like, there's no one more mad on the face of this earth than Johnny Manziel that they didn't have the NIL
I think Reggie
when
Bush
he was playing.
Because he doesn't have a Heisman. Reggie Bush.
Vince Young and Reggie Bush. And
I would,
unfortunately, Johnny Manziel.
How? He got a Heisman, though. He got to keep his. He gets celebrated. Reggie Bush is the poster child of all the bad stuff.
But Reggie Bush still had it. Reggie Bush still played in the NFL. Like, Johnny Manziel has nothing to hang his hat on.
He was a good player.
But the Heisman. He doesn't have a bag. He doesn't have NFL contract money. Those other two guys did.
Yeah, but hey, hold on. I want to get back to Chris's point here, and I want to just say, so both of y'all are just ready to deconstruct the lottery drafting system right now over the in-season tournament. I mean, that's what y'all are doing.
It's rigged for a team from the Central Division to win it every year. Like, we all know that. It's you know, election's been rigged, bro.
I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with both y'all. I was like,
what?
That's that. So let's just keep the good teams good forever. To hell with all these other teams.
No, it's one team. What? You're putting one team in there, and everyone's tanking anywhere, and they're trying to make people not want to tank. What better incentive than to be like, all right, okay, how about this? The top three teams in the tournament get like 5, 3, and 1 extra or extra lottery ball. Compared to the, you know, whatever everybody else gets. Something. It's something.
If they happen to be in the lottery already, is that what you're saying? No,
it's just like, I don't know what the numbers are, but let's say...
You want to give the Denver Nuggets a lottery ball so they can pick number one in the NBA draft.
The NBA Finals champ, the in-season tournament champ. And then if we start to see it's the tournament champ and the Finals champ winning every year, then we change it. But you know what I'm saying? Teams that get it's for the Miami Dolphins of the NBA.
The worst teams in the NBA aren't winning the in-season tourney. I don't care.
They're
worst,
not. But it's the middle. It's the middle management. It's that mid-level watch. It's going to be on NBA 2K. They got tiers, right? It's going to be a tier 2 team that wins it. I'm calling it right now. Boom.
I appreciate the bold idea. I cannot abide by that. And just
here's one that wasn't original. This is my last take on this, and then we'll move to the next one. But instead of a lottery ball, it is a pop-up shop expansion draft. You have to put one player on the market, and that team gets to pick any one of those players from any team that's on the market. And it has to be a starter.
I like chaos, Chris. And what you're creating is chaos. And that
Let's fucking mix it up. Let's go. I mean, we're just throwing random tournaments and courts out there, you know? We're sharing a bottle of wine, and we're talking shit about, you know, let's do it.
If we're talking about drama, nobody does drama better than the NBA. That would create so much drama, especially like players getting mad at their management for putting them on the block and man, I mean, it could get messy.
It's like
it could get messy.
The anti-franchise tag, like it's like.
Hey, can you imagine if the NBA had that?
I mean, no, I really can't. It'd be chaos, but
I mean, that's kind of what they do, but players want it.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Well, everybody, that's what I'm saying is, franchise as an NBA would be crazy.
Yeah, I'd be like, bitch, you ain't leaving.
Dan,
get back here.
I heard this.
Got a leash on.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And you can't.
Like
and
it.
if you ask for a contract, then your contract.
You win the in-season tournament. You get a franchise tag. Instead of a little gold thing on the back of your jersey for when you win a chip, you get a franchise tag. You get 3 of them bitches in a decade.
Bro, those franchise tags would be so expensive. You get paid the average of the top 3 salaries in the league at your position, and like NBA salaries are
it's like
bananas,
it's top heavy and then bottom heavy.
You'd be paying mid-level players so much money on that franchise.
But it's got yeah. Anyway, we work out the fine print on the next bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay. All right. What we got
the
next?
NBA is back themselves into these corners that they can never get out of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
now
I mean,
you can't sign good players for more than 4 years.
Well, yeah, they can always change it.
Why is that? Because the NBA was signing players.
NBA is doing just fine, guys.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
NBA is doing
going
just
global.
fine.
It's going. All right. So speaking of the NBA and doing just fine, they did something the other night that was just fine back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Back when things were real. And man, Draymond is a bitch, and everybody knows it. Like, what was he doing, running in after Rudy Gobert, having his arm around him, like, excessively longer than it's like, dog, hey, it's over, tap, 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 like, we're done with this. And he's still holding him down. I didn't like that. I don't like Draymond,
But you know what's cold about that? You know what's cold about that, Chris? You say that, and I think everybody's in agreement with you. Draymond was out of pocket for that. Absolutely. There's no excuse for that. But the fact that he just did it to Gobert, people were kind of just like,
yeah. Gobert's like he's like Sean. He's like the Sean Bradley or like the Chris Dudley, like the guy that's like you want to like punch on him. It's like fuck Rudy Gobert, even though he's pretty good.
No one likes Rudy Gobert.
And that COVID joke he made, that just sealed the deal.
Yeah,
My question is this, though, Junior, for the light-skinned community, this is what Rudy Gobert did, and this is the part that just really hurts my feelings. What do you mean I'm just going to sit here and get choked?
Yeah.
Was he flopping? 7'2".
Yeah.
Hey,
he was.
that wasn't the light skin in him. That was the French man in him. That was the French. Tony Parker.
Oh, man.
Nah, man, that was the French in him. Hey, no, okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, if Draymond's gonna choke someone like that, it's as good as Rudy Gobert.
To put Big Vic in Junior. Hey, if you try to put Vic in that, Vic's gonna fight back.
All right, here we go.
Vic has already shown a little bit of fire.
He has. He's like, get off me, Ant.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Draymond, he definitely acts like a 4-letter word. But at the same time, so look, what have we seen from Draymond? Hold up, real quick. What have we seen from Draymond for the last, let's say, 5 years? He likes to kick people in the nuts.
He's Chris Paul on a bigger body.
4-letter word. He likes to kick people in the nuts. All right, he likes to grab people in the nuts. He likes to sucker punch his teammates. All right, he sucker punches his teammate and he puts people in chokeholds. Yeah.
And y'all are gonna sit here and tell me that y'all wouldn't want him on your motherfucking team when you absolutely would want him on your team.
Not at this stage. I'd want him 10 years ago.
And the Wizards.
You want Draymond on your team. I don't care who you are. You do. You want Draymond on your team.
I mean, yeah, he can come off the bench for me
now.
Hey, that's a great segue. Hey, that's a great segue, Gitano Demas, because I got a start, bench, cut, street fight for you guys. All right? Who would you want in a street fight by position? And I already wrote them out, man. I did my research during this podcast, all right? So, at the center position, now these aren't the baddest dudes out there. This is just like an interesting matchup, all right? Center, start, bench, cut, Junior first, DeAndre Ayton, Nikola Jokic, or Nurkic.
Bro, you didn't get me Zach Collins in there? Because you already knew I'm starting Zach? Okay.
Yeah, no, there's no bias. I avoided bias on this because there's no Lakers and there's no Spurs and no Blazers.
I gotta. Jokic is the only one that's actually throwing hands. Nurk and Ayton are just both soft as hell. I'm sorry, like I can't even take them on the squad.
You said street fight.
I said street fight. No, I said coming in like you said you want Draymond on your team to have your back. These dudes playing in the 80s or whatever. Where
talk about basketball, Nurkic. Nurkic might have some heavy hands.
I'm taking Nurk. I'm starting Nurk because wasn't it his dad's like a 300-pound or 400-pound 7-foot cop in fucking wherever the fuck he's from. The Bosnia.
He comes from a fifth world country, bro.
Yeah, that dude's been slapped around. He's tough as fuck. He's soft on the court.
Nurk's not throwing hands.
He's soft on the court, but he will. I would take him over Ayton, and the reason I actually did all this was just to talk about how soft Ayton is. He's Myers Leonard. Like under the basket, he'll sit there and watch someone shoot it when he could block the shot, and it's frustrating.
Ayton's hard to watch.
Yeah,
he's hard to watch.
Yeah,
man. He's so inconsistent. It is really like painful to see someone so talented play.
It's Myers Leonard
It's
Myers. It's like you have so much God-given ability, but it's like there's flashes. I mean, he has a lot more flashes. He's more on than off, whereas Myers was more off than on. But it's the same thing. It's like fucking someone kick him in the ass and get like
Myers,
fire.
That series against Golden State when he was hitting them threes, it was pretty funny.
It was coming out party though, but that's the thing he did.
He was hitting them threes.
But he did that every practice, every warm up, everywhere. Just never in a game, so no one had seen it. So it was like really funny. But yeah, you can't do it.
All right. Well, I got start bench cut for each of you two.
Hey, hold on, bro. I didn't go to my next round, bro. I didn't go to my next round. I got forwards and guards, but you got
a couple rounds. All right.
That's what I said. I said by position. All right. I got guards. I got the skinny dudes. De'Aaron Fox.
We're going to be here all day.
Trae Young. Jordan Poole.
Come on, it's De'Aaron Fox. We started De'Aaron Fox, bro. And we know Jordan Poole coming off he's coming off the bench. We cutting Trae. Trae's a little too small.
I think Poole at least has.
Fight. You said
Poole's got good intent. Poole wants to be the guy you can bring in a street fight, but he just can't be, right? He wants to be him,
and that's why
but he can't.
There's a perfect spot for him in this lineup, and that's on the bench as the hype man that's like, hold me back.
Yeah.
I'm in the bench, but I can't really I'm going to get fined if I cross the line.
He wants it, but he don't got it. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Just like in the playoffs last year when he tried to be him. Like, you're not Steph, bro. Sorry. Like, that's...
Bro. All right. JD, what'd you have for us?
That's a good one, Chris.
What'd you have?
So this is these are the young talents. The NBA is showing us right now. There's a couple young guys who are standing out, and we saw them play in the summertime. We saw these two guys, and so. Chris, because you're the oldest one here, you want the East or the West Coast? West? Okay. So here's your start bench cut. Ja Morant, Zion, or Anthony Edwards?
Starting Ant. Putting Ja.
I like Ant.
Yeah,
I like Ant's game.
And putting Ja on the bench as long as he's eligible, and Zion can go with Mariah Mills or whatever the fuck her name is, and just get out of here, bro. He is so overrated.
Really? Zion?
Yeah. Yes.
You think he's overrated?
Bro, have you not watched him since Duke?
Fully healthy? You think his game is overrated?
I don't like the dude's head is not there. He's too entitled for me. He's too entitled, but you don't. Still, He's the opposite of like a guy like Dame that stands for character and like really gritting it out and grateful to be in a position to play basketball for a living. He's a dude that's been having a fucking camera in his mouth since he was like 12 when he dunked in front of everybody. Like,
True.
So he's used to being a prince, and now he's down there in smelly ass New Orleans, and he's not happy, and he's acting like a little baby about it.
I like his power game, though. I like watching that power game. I mean, outside of whatever he's dealing with, you know, he needs to grow up. He's not mature. I get
and
that.
he's injury prone as hell.
But purely basketball, his game is freaking nice, man. Because he's got touch with the power. I really like that combo.
What's your question? Do you take them to start a franchise with, or
so? Start, bench, cut. It don't matter whose game, because we're not talking about off the court stuff. We're just talking about basketball. We're talking about what you see on the court.
Oh, I know. But also, I see on the court Zion's game. So he's not going to be this. He's not going to be a bouncy dude his whole career. So he's going to get Blake Griffined out about 3 years from now.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, for you, Junior, you got the East Coast. So it's Pablo Banchero, LaMelo Ball, and Tyrese Maxey. Who you starting, who you benching, and who you trading? These are young stars.
I like LaMelo. I do. I think, and I think talking about the maturity, I think a stark contrast from Zion. LaMelo just seems like he's having fun. And I don't think he gives the arrogance that maybe his dad kind of wanted him to have. I think LaMelo, by all accounts, is a fun dude to be around. Like he like his teammates enjoy him. He's a really skilled young player. I really like his game. I think he can get a lot better. So I like LaMelo, like his game. I got to roll with him. I just don't trust Maxey as much as Banchero. I think the Banchero's size and in combination of skill, I gotta roll with that, and I gotta cut Maxey. And also because we've seen Maxey this is 4th or 5th year. I understand he's like really coming on as of late, and he might be taking that next step, but he hasn't taken that. I bet by the time Banchero is 4th year in the league, he's gonna be a bit of a problem.
Chris, I was looking at the schedule or the standings, and you look at all the players just in the league, and it's like all the best young players, they're in the West. Like the East, those are the 3 best young players in the East. And I mean, those
what are you
guys
considering
are
young?
like top 10, 15.
What are you considering young, though? Because when you put Tatum,
so many more players that you would take in front of them, and they're in the West.
Would you put Tatum in the young class, though?
Top 3, 4, the last 3, 4 draft classes.
Okay. I mean, I like it cut out for a second, but I like what Junior said about Maxey is like
4 draft classes. So LaMelo's draft class.
Okay, yeah, I would flip flop though and put Life of Pablo at number 1 at the start, because he's to me he's like he's Chris Webber, right? You can do a little bit of everything, really good, not really specializing in anything. Reliable, good size, good light on his feet, and I think he'll be around for a while. LaMelo, too injury prone for me, but I like your assessment on just rising above the chaos of the Ball brother bullshit. And Maxey's just shooting shots because no one's game planned against him without James Harden.
Well, ending this on a good note, on a high note and a fast note. F1 is in Las Vegas this weekend, and I really wish I could have made it there. Prices have dropped. Nobody wants it to be there. It's going to be cold at nighttime. It's November in Las Vegas. People forget Las Vegas gets snow. So, they up in the elements as well. But what are you guys' thoughts? Do you have any thoughts about F1 coming to Vegas? They want to replicate Miami in Las Vegas.
I have it from a corporate perspective, because T-Mobile's I think the second biggest sponsor behind Heineken. They're providing all the 5G connectivity, but there was a lot of hype around it, and it seems to have not caught on in Vegas. Like at work, we were doing giveaway sweepstakes and stuff like that, and it's not the common man's sport. It's very specialized. If you know, you know, and if you know, you're an avid fan. But it's so few and far between. It's going to take a couple of years of doing this in Vegas for people to get it and be like, "Oh shit, this is cool." You know, it's arena football right now. You know, it's a new thing in America.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna come on here and be like, "Oh, I'm some F1 expert, y'all." Absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. What it reminded me a lot of is I play the Hitman franchise. The newest Hitman games had a level that was in Miami, and it was based off of when the F1 races were in Miami. And it's just cool to see. It's just cool to see that type of event on like a street level in the middle of a U.S. city, because that's not something that you see. So I would say, as an event, if I was in Vegas when it was going on, I feel like you can kind of tap into that energy that comes along with it.
I'd be pissed,
but it's just not.
I would be pissed if I was going to Vegas and didn't know it was happening. They shut the whole city down. That's true. That's true. But if you're in Vegas looking for a good time, there are going to be events. There's going to be lots of people around. Hey.
There's going to be celebrities, probably mostly European celebrities, but they're going to be there.
Hey.
Okay.
You go from that in November to the tournament, the in-season tournament in December, to the Super Bowl in February. Vegas is it's a sports hotbed, right? And then
absolutely.
They just got the A's today.
Yeah, and
I believe so.
Yeah, and just an event like let's
doing great.
bring.
I follow it. I love it.
Let's bring it. Let's bring it to the U.S.
Who's your favorite driver?
Let's try some
exactly.
things.
Who's your favorite driver?
There's a lot
JD?
of money there. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go. Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris. You know what I'm saying? Like I like those guys, but man, F1, they are really taking a big leap of faith in Las Vegas. They bought property. They built those grandstands by the Sphere. They're shutting down the Sphere for the 4 days. They built all this stuff for the last, 3 months. I was in Vegas twice, this year already. And you can see they were prepping for stuff back in March when I went. And the race wasn't until November, so.
You know who hates it the most?
Qualifying is tomorrow night.
The common man that has to go to work every day and can't find a parking spot. I was seeing that, and all these comments with these giveaway tickets was like, yo, I'll take the free tickets, but also fuck you, man. I haven't been able to get to work on time for 6 months.
Absolutely, and they almost went on strike. The bartenders and the servers almost went on strike, before this race. Like, imagine if there was no servers at the hotels. Like, imagine the chaos that would cause. And we know that Vegas can get electric. Here's what I'll say. I'm going out on a limb here. But Vegas come February 13th, that's going to be a party. I don't know. If you get a rematch of the Eagles and Kansas City in Las Vegas.
I mean, Kansas City doesn't draw.
Better is when you get the right matchup.
Yeah, the right matchup, but also major market.
Yeah,
major markets still play, bro. Kansas City is a great name.
Hey, Chris,
we know New England.
But here's the thing, Chris. Teams are showing up to Raiders games. Away teams are flying in from New York to show up to Raiders games. That's not even the Super Bowl, man.
Oh yeah, no. Yes, because it's a destination. It's like, let's party and let's go to the Super Bowl too. But what I'm saying is like, a rematch for football fans, yes, but for the general public, I mean, if you had a team from a bigger market, it would probably do better regardless of how good the matchup is, because it's people just recognize logos.
I think that's cities. A TV number. I'm talking about the atmosphere. The TV number, Boston, New York, yeah. But I'm saying the atmosphere in Vegas for Super Bowl Sunday, like this is a Mayweather Pacquiao McGregor fight on steroids. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You're looking like the Hulk on steroids.
For
Like,
those people,
atmosphere.
for
Now,
NFL
I'm not in
fans,
Vegas,
but for the
I
random
can't
ass.
imagine the Formula One is not going to bring something similar to that here in the next day or two.
But
That's what I'm getting at.
Last thing I'm gonna come at you with is a lot of Vegas is international travelers, right? And they aren't gonna know that Kansas City and Philadelphia is a good rematch and it's super intense, but they'll recognize the Cowboys logo. So that's all I'm saying is for the general person walking around Vegas versus us that are like, hell yeah, that's gonna be great. That's it.
Well, since I know we're talking about F1, but we're talking about Vegas. Y'all brought in the Super Bowl. Do y'all think that the NFL kind of wishes they could just like have Vegas be the Super Bowl spot going
Always?
forward? I mean, I know they can't, but I feel like if they could, they'd be like, let's just land this thing in Vegas and call it the Super Bowl destination every year.
And I guarantee the people that work on that every year would love it because you're not having to resize everything every year. It's just like set it and forget it.
And you know you're making your money every year.
Cities,
every
Junior.
year.
They want it in 3 cities. Actually 4. You want it in LA, Vegas,
LA.
New Orleans, and Miami.
Why New Orleans?
Chris, you went to Miami. They love Miami because it's the dome. How often do they go there? They go to New Orleans almost.
I would say go to Atlanta. You the first 2 you named with Vegas and LA, yes, because of their stadiums, but you lost me at New Orleans. I will raise you in Atlanta, a Mercedes-Benz stadium.
I'll raise you in New York. I mean, why wouldn't they want it in New York?
Yeah, by that standard, yeah.
I'm saying I think Vegas is number one. I'm sorry, if the NFL only had to choose one place,
100%.
they would say, okay, we're sticking with Vegas. I don't even think it's a question.
My final thing is in Miami, it was actually surprising that when you're away from the stadium's away from kind of like the city area, but when you're away from the pop-up venues where everyone's gathering, you don't know there's a Super Bowl going on there because there's so much else to do there, and it's a strong Latin influence. You know, it's not like your traditional American city. So I would say, yeah, Vegas and LA. Hey guys, it's been amazing talking to you.
That's what people said about LA.
I would say, well, yes, we could debate on that, but I think we got to go get some sleep and prepare for the next show, which is coming up here at a TBD date. My guys, any final thoughts? It's been awesome catching up, but we've been having these guys on the hook for a while.
The next episode, yeah, but there are loyal listeners. You know what I mean? They like listening to us old dads talk.
I'm on.
You know, we come with hot takes and we come with extra hot takes.
Shout out Christy.
You know?
Shout out Christy. You know, I know she's listening to the pod.
Hey man, she's the one. My kids don't even listen.
All right, y'all. Let's wrap it up.
You know, either do mine.
Peace.
All right, boys. Have a good night. Hey.